This video is to bring wholeness to the concept of non-duality. Now, what I would ask you to do is watch this whole video, because I'm going to unpack parts of the wholeness. And if you only watch half or three quarters, you're not getting the whole picture. So you can very easily disagree with me or find a problem with what it is that I'm saying. The likelihood is if you get to the end and watch the whole video, it's all going to make sense. If you didn't know what non-duality is, it means not two, that there's one power, universal field, intelligence behind life. And in the non-dual field, that's generally labeled as consciousness. Now, when you look at very extreme versions of non-duality, this is how they teach it. If you take the absolute zoomed out version of non-duality, meaning not two, there is only one power, just one consciousness, not many, but one consciousness. If there's one consciousness, okay, there can't be any individuals separate from one consciousness. And if there is just one consciousness, no one's having a human experience. So there's no human experience as separate from the one happening. And in a sense, if there's just one, there's no meaning in life, because there's just one intelligence, one power, and humans kind of put a meaning on things. So in a sense, extreme, not all, but extreme non-duality basically teach there's only consciousness, there's nobody separate, no one's having an individual human experience, or there is no human experience, and everything is kind of meaningless. Now, from an absolute zoomed out perspective, okay, and keep watching the video. Don't stop it, because I'm gonna just keep watching. Okay. Yes, I agree. There is one consciousness. Yes, I agree. There's nobody separate from this consciousness. Yes, I agree. There's not an individual human experience happening. And yes, I agree. Everything's kind of meaningless. Okay. So from a very zoomed out perspective, I wholeheartedly agree. However, that's only half the picture. So this one consciousness births into time, space, matter, form, individuation, expressions for it to experience itself. It's not less spiritual. It's not unreal. It is absolutely necessary. And all of it is just as spiritual as one another. So when you zoom in, I'm going to take this off now, to the relative, I am Rudy and I have consciousness or aliveness. I'm alive. This is relatively true for me, otherwise I couldn't be talking to you now. I am an individual. You are an individual. We have individuality. We have our own unique expression. I am having a human experience. Okay, I've got a burning sensation on my face. I'm having a human experience. And I'm having a meaningful life. I'm doing this video because it means something to me. So an extreme non-dual speaker will kind of say none of this is real or true. Okay. Because it can't be, because there's only one. If there's only one, there can't be people having human experience. If there's only one, there can't be individuals. Now, my point is, and this is a crux of my message, I'm going to use a metaphor. So before Einstein, we used to think there was matter and energy. Energy everywhere and nowhere and no form. Matter somewhere and something, and it has form. What he found was that matter and energy weren't two things. They were one thing concurrently. In fact, he said, I'm going to try and get this right, mass and energy are manifestations of the same thing. a somewhat unfamiliar concept for the average mind. Now, when you look at the wholeness of life, what would happen if this was true, concurrently this was true? An unfamiliar concept to the average mind. In Wholality, this is the infinity sign, okay? They are both concurrently existing. Neither and both concurrently. Now, you can't wrap your head around this. But yes, there's just consciousness. But I am that consciousness humaning. So are you. Yes, no one is separate. We are also having a uniquely individual experience within the whole. There is no human experience if it's all just consciousness, but that consciousness is purposefully creating a sense of separation to have experience. We're having a human experience. And absolutely speaking, maybe there isn't any meaning, but we have the power as consciousness humaning to create a meaningful life. We give our life a meaning that sits right with us. And that's what we can do for the rest of our life. Okay. One other metaphor. My hand is probably traveling about 2 miles an hour. Okay. That's true. Relatively. 2 miles an hour. What, 2 miles per hour? However, when you zoom out and look at the absolute, you take into consideration the spin of the Earth, the movement of the Earth around the sun, and the spinning of our galaxy. Guess how fast it's moving? 1.5 million miles per hour. So a non-dual person would say, there's only 1.5 million miles per hour. And a more, I don't know, another teacher who isn't into non-duality would say, no, your hand is moving at 2 miles an hour. Who's right? Both and neither, because they're both concurrently true. My hand isn't moving at 1.5 million miles per hour, okay, but it is. Relatively, it's moving at 2 miles an hour, absolutely 1.5 million miles per hour. So my point is that when speakers just took one side as true or this side as true, they're missing the whole infinity sign, the whole picture, the whole experience. So, if anyone says to you, you're not having a human experience, you don't exist, it's all meaningless, send them to this video. And we'll love to hear from you. Put in comments if you agree, if you disagree. Let's get a discussion going. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, guys, lots of love. Speak soon.